is up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York. We are back at the Alto Music headquarters, and we got Crobot, who was so nice to visit me at my day job.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, please buy something and impress my boss, please.
Oh, yeah, dude. It's pretty cool looking stuff here, man.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I don't know anything about it, but it looks expensive.
And neither do I. But it's so awesome to have you guys here. It's a kick-ass tour with you guys, the Damn Things, and He Is Legend. Now that it's been pretty much 3 years since the release of Welcome to Fat City, your latest record, do you kind of have like a conclusion on this record cycle in terms of like how it did and everything like that?
Oh, Fat City? How Fat City did?
Yeah.
You know, I think it's a great record, and you know, it was a lot of fun making and everything. It was just we had some bad luck with the label stuff. Like the label sort of went under as soon as the album got released, so it didn't properly get the attention that I think it deserved. You know, I'm sure everyone who has a record that wasn't huge has every excuse in the world. So who knows why it didn't do that great? But I mean, I still think it's a strong record, and I think that now we're with Mascot Records, and this
they're great.
Yeah, this record we just made is gonna be awesome.
Yeah. So is this new record that you have? Is this like, to people who may have discovered you guys on Fat City, is this like a direct follow-up, or did you guys kind of maybe want to like experiment with the sound a little bit?
I think we turned a new leaf in all senses, you know, with the new label, and you know, we had some more changes as well, and you know, we had a lot of time to just really write and figure out what we really wanted to accomplish with our music and with this next record. And you know, we wrote a ton of songs, and we sifted through them and came up with the 11 best.
Yeah, and maybe even not like, to me, I look at it like we got in the room with Corey and we listened to all our demos, and then we just sort of wrote in the moment as well. So all that prep time to record this record, I mean, led us to that moment. But you know, there were some definitely just in the room moments that were captured, which was really cool.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely. So it's fair to say this record's very organic. It wasn't like you had like a preconceived idea that you were working off of constantly, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit. It was very organic, but it's also like the most modern sounding record that we've ever done. You know, I think in the past we've always like chased this vintage sound and vintage feel of everything, which is cool, but you're never going to do it better than the Beatles or Led Zeppelin, you know. So I think we tried to approach this record in a modern sense of modern guitar production. Let's try to do something different that no one else has done. And the vocals are big and huge and in your face. So, and I think we just played to our strengths on this record.
Awesome. Now, what I was curious is, from listening to your music, I think you guys have the best of both worlds, and you guys are very melodic. You have a lot of melody behind your music, but there's also a lot of rhythm. Like, you have that catchy rhythmic element. Is there ever like I always say it in this way, like an overlying armature? Is just every song maybe have like a similar root that ties everything together? Or is the making of each song just a new approach and new experience?
Yeah, I mean, head bob. Can you bob your head to it? And that's got to be the constant for Crobot throughout every song is, you know, can you shake your ass and bob your head to it? And then it passes the test.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's very groove oriented. I mean, even in like how I play as a guitar player, you know, I make rhythmic sounds that aren't notes, but just like that go with the drums that create like a really heavy groove. I mean, there's always going to be that element of like clutch, that element of like 70s riff rock, and hopefully we'll do it in a little bit of a different way. You know, I'm sure it's hard to do anything new, you know, these days, but
yeah,
you know,
there'll always be somebody who comes up with something new, though.
I think I come up with this like crazy guitar sound. I'm like, oh yeah, Tom Morello's been doing that for 20 years.
Yeah.
You know.
But if you could come up with that sound without needing like a pedal board the size of the whole stage.
Dude, right? My pedal board's already one of the biggest you can buy. It weighs so many pounds.
Oh God. Do you? I can imagine, because when you're playing, because your music is kind of fast too. Like, do you? And you know, you got to keep up with tempo playing wise. Do you ever like stumble on selecting the pedals?
we deemed him milk toe during this last record because we said that his toe that he pushes the pedals with is like a king, and he has to soak it in milk.
Yeah. I've also been deemed Hurricane Bishop for like my clumsiness on stage. Like I'm just a big. Oh, the best was how they were describing how I play guitar, and it's just with meat, strings, and emotion.
That's beautiful.
That's me.
Maybe that could be the album name.
I want that on the back of a shirt. Meat, strings, and emotion.
I know plenty of merch people. I'll put in a good word for
Yes,
that.
dude.
Now, something I just started asking bands this regularly. When you are playing like in the studio and you're writing these songs and then you're bringing them to the live presence, do you try to execute the material as close to how people hear it on the record, or do you like to maybe create a different experience that maybe your listeners wouldn't see just from listening to you guys in their MP3 player?
We like every show to be different. That's in some way, shape, or form. To work by a script in rock and roll goes against the point of it.
Yeah, I think that we're just those type of people. Like, it's in the moment. The guitar solos, on the record are definitely going to be like my starting point. But I love to experiment and try different things on different parts too. For me, it's what keeps it interesting. Like when we were touring really, really heavy, like 2013 to 15, like, when I come off the road and I was like, at least the first half of that, I was like, man, I'm a worse guitar player from not doing anything different, So, and granted, you should just practice new shit anyway, but
Chances make champions.
and there are those moments where, like, I go out and fall on my face, but there are those moments where you land this really awesome thing that's new and fresh, and it feels really good. It's exciting.
Yeah. You mentioned your guitar solos, so like, do you have to like lay down background music and be like, okay, I have to work off of this scale and the like
when I'm writing?
Yeah, like the Mixolydian mode or Locrian or
yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of different colors to some of the solos, but for the most part, it is just the meat and potatoes of pentatonic. You know what I mean? There's some I guess like Dorian's my go-to like color, and because it works well with like minor pentatonic stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think there's just a power in like the box riffs.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like the simplistic boxiness of those notes are, and the repetition of those notes are just so powerful in rock.
Yeah. Can you remember all those scale modes? My guitar teacher taught me the best way to remember it.
How's that?
I don't particularly like midgets attacking leprechauns.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
That's in there forever.
Yeah, that's how I was, and I haven't really played my guitar in a couple of years, but I always remember those scale modes just from that.
Yeah, dude,
that's a good one.
Pretty good.
Yeah, like Easter bunnies Easter bunnies always, like, the EAD.
Every good boy does fine. That was
So there's always those fun ways to remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I have 2 more questions for you guys. You guys have toured with, I would say, a variety of different styles of bands. Like, I know that, like, on one of your last North American runs, you did a tour with Royal Thunder, and now you're touring with the Damn Things. I think that's very, Royal Thunder has kind of like a doom presence to their sound. And I mean, the Damn Things with Every Time I Die, Anthrax, and Fall Out Boy in the same band. I don't know what the hell you call them. But, like, depending on, like, the types of tours that you're on, do you notice, like, maybe a different reaction to your music depending on, like, the bills you're playing in front of, or just a different crowd altogether?
Yeah, definitely. I think, like, even when we got the Motorhead tour, we were really scared. Because, like, either they're going to like us or they're going to hate us. Because there's a lot of times where you tour with bands and they don't really give a shit about the band comes on before the headliner. They want to see that band. That's why they're there. They stood at the front of the barricade the whole night, and they're not afraid to let you know that they're not happy with you being there. But I think for the most part, when we started the band, we just played with anybody we could play with, and where we started in Pennsylvania, it was a lot of heavy bands. So we have been able to chameleon ourselves within any lineup really, and I think we bring elements like funk into it and groove rock, but we're still getting heavy like Soundgarden and Black Sabbath, and I think it's kind of what we do is kind of blend everything into one.
I saw somebody comment one time, like, the way to describe you guys, and they meant it as a compliment, if Zach De La Rocha of Rage Against the Machine could actually sing.
That's pretty cool.
So,
Yeah,
That's a huge compliment.
I mean, I think that the one constant is like Black Sabbath. You know, like everybody loves Sabbath, and like Zeppelin and stuff like that. So that's worked in our favor for being able to play with really heavy bands, really light bands, or light bands isn't a description at all. But you know,
they'll know what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool, and I mean, I think it's as long as you're good. You know, that's the other thing. Like, good musicians respect other good musicians, and if you can, take yourself seriously and perform well, and really put your heart into what you do, people will respect it.
Absolutely. And the final question I want to ask you, and you kind of brought it up a little bit, I forgot the exact hometown in Pennsylvania, but it's like northeast, something like that?
Pottsville.
Yeah,
Pottsville area, yeah.
Now, just in the whole state of Pennsylvania alone, I know it's a big state, but like, Code Orange is from there, and Rivers of Nile's from there, and, and you mentioned a lot of heavier bands, but was there kind of like a scene in your hometown that you kind of cut your teeth in, or did you have to like go way outside your state lines in order to get Crobot's name out there?
It was a little of both. We started in the cover band circuit. That's how we met each other.
Oh, really?
And it's a really big in Pennsylvania, and we've traveled to as many states as we could. And that's what's cool about where we were from is, New York City is only 3 hours away. Baltimore's only 3 hours away. Philly's only 2.5 hours away. So we were really centrally located to where we could just go play a show, and it wasn't like going out on tour per se. But it was a heavy scene where we're from, and but also the cover band circuit is really where we cut our teeth.
Yeah,
really
I mean,
just performing.
Yeah, like I say, like early 20s, like that's what we did for money. We would just play covers and try to like play our originals to these crowds of people who did not care at all. And then there's just only so much where like, well, it felt like selling your soul when you'd play like some stupid cover song and they would go crazy, and then you give them something that you worked long and hard on, and they're like, that sucks.
More
like,
Bon Jovi.
Yeah, or whatever.
How many times did you hear more cowbell?
Oh God.
Freebird.
Oh, yep. Oh my God.
You know.
There's a bar I know that kicks people out for making that joke if somebody shouts that.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah.
But there are worse songs. Like I'd be cool with playing cover. Honestly, it'd be an awesome song to cover. Freebird, holy shit.
Yeah.
If you could
If
play
you could
that.
pull it off,
Yeah.
yeah.
Always have that one in your pocket. That's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
If I have to hear "Don't Stop Believing" now,
Oh,
yeah.
like,
Journey that's like nails on a chalkboard for me,
Yeah.
buddy.
yeah, like just those one-hit wonders. I was interviewing I Hate God one time, and he, this is my favorite story I've ever heard in an interview. Mike Nine told me that he saw Europe play, and they opened with the final countdown and ended with it.
Oh, that's
Oh,
great.
the same way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. And
Wow.
in our set, we've been doing this thing where we tease the crowd like we're gonna start playing Africa by Toto, and we play the front end of it, and it's like he's got this banana shaker that he's like shaking, and then like right when it kicks, it's supposed to kick in with the vocals. We kick into like the heaviest new song that we've ever written.
Good.
Yeah.
Mutoid Man does that
That's
too,
great.
so that's awesome.
Yeah, Mutoid Man's great.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping they maybe come to the show tonight.
Cool.
Yeah, Nick,
Let me know, man.
Nick and my boss used to work together
Oh,
at
that's awesome.
GC.
Cool.
Oh,
He
and
works at St. Vitus, right? Or no,
he does sound at a bunch of other places.
Yeah.
He does sound there, or used to. But I mean, Mutoid Man, I think, has been his full-time gig lately. And we actually used to talk at Guitar Center. Can you guys get this? What are the 5 S's you're not allowed to cover on the guitar floor anymore?
Sweet Child of Mine.
Yep.
Sweet Emotion.
No.
No,
Mm.
that one's a good one. I'd be cool with that.
Yeah. Stairway to Heaven.
Stairway
Yep.
to Heaven. sitting in the...
Superstition?
Nope.
Mm. I was gonna say Enter Sandman, but that's not a...
Give me a hint.
One of them is named after a state.
Sweet Home Alabama?
Yep. 2016, this band got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Smoke on the Water.
Yep.
Oh, man.
And this band has a stupid rumor that apparently they killed rock and roll, which is not true at all. But
Oh, man. Give us another hint for it.
the album artwork, if you Googled it today, you might get the FBI at your door.
Anthrax. No.
Oh, never mind.
Who is it?
That's the
What is
other.
it?
That was the
Never
last
mind?
hint.
Oh, it smells like Teen
Oh,
Spirit.
yeah. Okay.
Yep. So those are the 5 S's you
I
can't.
am so... It was all over my head. All your hands were just...
But yep, that's the.
Wow.
Well, it makes sense, though.
Yep, exactly. But I'll put Enter Sandman as.
Smoke on the Water is like the main one. That's like...
But everybody plays it wrong.
Right, it's supposed to be chicken picked.
I don't even chicken picked.
Well, I mean, it's like you play it with your fingers like at the same time, not with a pick.
Oh,
You know what I mean? It's got a distinct...
That Richie Blackmore thing.
Yeah.
I learned it on piano, so there's only one way it could be done that way. So before we go, I'd like to thank you guys so much for your time. It's going to be an awesome show tonight. Is there just anything else you would like to promote? And this is going to be uploaded by midnight tonight, so please don't talk about tours that are happening in like 2023 or something like that. But like, is there any? You said that you have the new album coming out. Can we be expecting a time frame when it'll be come out, and any tours you'd like to promote to support it?
You know, we haven't settled on a release date, and we haven't released the name of the record or anything yet. So I wish we could say something about it, but we can't really. Soon though.
Soon.
Yeah, and then this summer we'll be in the UK.
Awesome.
UK and Europe.
Awesome.
So.
Well, thank you guys so much. Everybody, we are here with Crobot. New music coming very soon. This is Alex from Heavy New York. We'll see you next time.